Didn't see you there. It's me, Thomas Edwards, and back on the road again, and just sat on the A6, and there's a man over there cleaning his Corvette, what actually lives next to the garage, I think, with a personal plate on it says Vet, or his Corvette. And TE here is on the road. We're going to Shropshire today in JJ, the MGZR, and we're going to pick up something for a mystery car. What there's Easter eggs on the channel, but I don't know if any of you have realised what it is yet. Of something what's non-MG. So we're going to go on the road and hopefully show you the whole of the journey going down that motorway and interesting things we see along the way, and then hopefully picking it up. But I won't show you what the bit is. I might show you a bit, but I won't show you what it is. And then we'll come home, and this will go out in not this Monday coming, the Monday after, and it's the 18th today. So I'll see you in a bit somewhere else, or on the road with TA. Maybe at Charlotte Richards at my favourite services. Who knows? There you go, Lancaster's down there. TA's brother lives down there. Well, brothers. Oh, there's a big wagon coming. I'll let him come past. See that wagon there? That could have come out of the quarries at Carnforth. And if it has, sort of David Blaisdell's had something to do with that wagon. Oh, there's lots of other trucks coming out now at Lancaster. This man here, he came out of Carnforth and he's got a monkey on his dashboard. Oh, this is the South Junction, the Granny's 1 series there, of Lancaster, and that's the A6 down there. Go down there and go to Garstang. But it's busy today. Look, it's a weekday, so it's a Friday, and all the truck drivers are out and forth, so there's lots of them. Goggins Transport we just gone past. That was the lady out of Postman Pat on it in the post office, Mrs. Goggins. Lancaster services are coming up, but as TE knows, it's Fortin Services, because that's the name I've always associated with it. But as in the modern day, people don't know it as Lancaster Services. There it is. This is Fortin Services, and that tower you can see there, you know, it's dead unique, is the Pennine Tower, and it was built in the 60s, and it was it had like a viewing bit at the top where you could see all the lakes and the Bowland Forest and all around on Morecambe Bay. And what happened was they had it open for a long time, and then they had to shut it in modern times because there was only lifts in it. There was no sort of a proper evacuation doors to get out. You know, they couldn't get the amount of people out fast enough, so they had to shut it. But apparently Fortin Services back in the day, I don't know if it's still plastic, probably is. Oh, big truck on then. It's a halfway point between London and Scotland. So it's like the halfway point in sort of England almost. We're going back on Mr. Chimp. He's got a monkey on his dashboard, this man has. You probably won't be able to see. Well, coming through now, you probably won't be able to see over there, behind those trees. You might be able to see it is Scorton Church. And Scorton is famous for two things. It's famous for the TE family, and it's famous for the birthplace of Thomas Mawson. So this bit now we're on, this really straight bit, well obviously it's all straight because it's M6 mainly. This is the Preston to Lancaster, what it originally known as the Preston to Lancaster bypass, because it was the first sort of motorway, this bit. And originally when it was built, obviously it'd be a lot narrower than this, it wouldn't be as wide, but also it wasn't tarmac, it was concrete. And after a while, concrete, as you know, it wears a lot harsher than tarmac, and it starts to erode. And in concrete, it was big concrete sections. No, I didn't lay it in one big piece. It was lots of sections, and they put tarmac in between the sections. And after a while, it starts to shift, and then it's not any like durable for like years and years, so they have to tarmac it. But when you're on concrete roads, like a famous road, the A50, it sounds like you're on the on a railway going across jointed track. It's like ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. This is a famous caravan dealership, like westlancscaravans.com. That's quite famous. So coming up here, this bridge what comes over, it's a road bridge. There's a new bit and then there's an old bit what goes over the railway. This stretch along here all had, that I should say, is that little old bridge there is known as Badger Bridge because it's got badges on the bridge. But along that section of railway, they had water troughs like Dillycar, what we did up near T-Bay, and we just went past. I think it was there, or was it? It's further down here, I think, or was it there? I can't remember. But along this stretch, I think it's coming up. It might have been there. I can't remember. There's along this stretch, it might be coming up. Actually, there's a council gritters warehouse. I think it's over here. You can't really see because we're on southbound, and he drives. The one that guys has a rally spec Rover 200 BRM with spot lamps on it. I don't know. I never remember where it is. It's along here somewhere anyway. But this bit here is Preston. We're still on the Preston to Lancaster bypass here. Well, obviously it's M6 now, but what it used to be. And the first man to ever drive the first motorway, like the first human, or the first public, I should say, because obviously when they built the motorway, there's lots of people on it, was a man called Douglas Ferrara.
The Supporting Preservation Society acquired the line in 1960.
Who is quite big in, it was quite a big name in sort of my history, in the fact that he was one of the, he was a manager at Raven Glasnester Railway, where actually TE was brought up along that line, and he drove it in his Bond, it's like a microcar Bond. I forgot what, like they make them in Longridge in Lancashire. Bond minicar, I think they called the proper name, and he was the first one to drive it. And he slept. I think he slept on one of the slip roads going on to M6. And so when he woke up in the morning, when they opened it, he was the first one on it. And obviously it was fitting because Preston to Lancaster bypass is near Longridge, where the Bond minicars were built. So he was there to drive on this road in front of us now. Blackpool side, look, Pleasure Beach, Tower World, Sandcats Zoo Park. I think Chris Eggett's down there. So this bit here is another important bit on the M6. Goes up First Motorway and that. And all these bridges here, up flyover. It's quite modern for its time, all these flyover bridges. All this section here was opened by the Queen Elizabeth. So it wasn't the Queen. Well, I should say I've stopped to find the plaque for you and say that it wasn't the Queen that opened the Preston bypass, Britain's first motorway. The Right Honourable Harold Macmillan, MP, who opened it. He was a Prime Minister in 1958, 5th December. And the plaque here is at Salisbury Junction. Blackburn's over there, and Preston's that way. And Harold Macmillan, I should say, is what it's saying with now and I. When you go to Uncle Monty's house, and you say, where's he from? What school did he go through? And with now and says he went to the other one, and Uncle Monty went, oh, you're an Eton, you went to Eton. So that's where he went. So yeah, there you go. And apparently he was the last Eton boy to be an MP, all the way up to when we had David Cameron and today Boris Johnson. So there you go. So let's get back on the road. One blue MG to the other. This is an MGB GT on a K-Ridge, it's like 72, 73, but it's on a Polish number plated beaver tail van. Anybody's got a British car, so he's come over here and bought that. Some collector probably in Poland's bought that, and now he's taking it back over there. Look, it's mint, it is, that. Quite clean underneath. I can't see any rust on it, maybe a tiny bit. That's a clean MGB GT, that is. Wow. And it's going to Poland. I bet he doesn't know that it's going to Poland, that car. It's lived its life all over here since the 70s. and now it's going right down this motorway all the way to the end of the world and across the channel to Poland. And there's a young lad with his hoods and having a vape drive in it. We've just gone past Marshall's. I think does Marshall Lancaster own that? It's like my only claim to fame is my scrubbered up dub of TE. Went and looked at Exploring Fighter's location when he did Random Nautica, and actually Proving Demons Andrew actually said recently in one of his live streams that was the best thing what really sort of ever happened with Random Nautica was TE's video on it. And also, I think it ruined it for him as well, because after that, no one took it seriously. Because I went and found a location, and went and found the famous garage where Dan went, but never said anything. But I said, you might know this next place. I want to take you to a place you already know. And then I stood in front of their famous car wash and said, "Oh, better scrub it up with TE." Oh, no. And after that was ruined. Random Nautica was never the same after that. Football's just come past it. It's Bentley Continental, or it won't be football now. Anyone who's got what do you call them, like a furniture shop in the northwest can drive one of them now. Oh, we're coming up to my favourite service. Look, Charnet Richard Services, half a mile. Oh, wow, this is pretty good. And it's not just this service is not just famous for TE. Yours truly, TE. It was originally famous because it was the services and sort of the hotels and Park Hall Hotel what sort of accommodated all the people what went to Camelot, what was behind these trees. You used to be able to see Nightmare, the big roller coaster, but obviously it's gone now. Camelot's still sort of alive. They got Camelot Rises at the moment. It's like a apocalyptic drive thing. It's a weird thing, but yeah. So yeah, this is T's favourite services. I stay over that side on Ramada, and we did last week's video. 2 weeks ago, we did a walk across the bridge here. That was the first canteen on the M6, Waitress up there. And this service is also famous for Cortina City. Pete comes there and his Cortina and goes there, and it's actually his local services. So see two. Let me flip you around. Two YouTube celebrities, TE here and Cortina City, go in there because they really like it. Calling a family shed world because it's pretty much full of sheds more than garages, and it's over there. And if you watch a screen near you probably this year, you probably won't be able to see because too many cars, but it's over there. Stretched E-Class Mercedes with a number plate what says PUL. It's with 4 numbers, so that in my head, when it's got 3 letters and 4 numbers, it normally means it's a Northern Ireland car. It's a 6-door limo, that. It'd be a funeral car more than a limo. Anyway, it's a TE Dream Rig, a transit pickup and a car trailer. That Land Rover there, Defender 90, it's got Twisted stickers on the side of it. So I don't know if it's got a tuned engine up, because Twisted, I think they're a Yorkshire company and they do customised. They started off doing Defenders, now they do Range Rovers and all sorts of stuff. They're quite a well-known name. So it could have a tuned engine or just a bit of body kit on it, and then following it up behind, you see these everywhere now, little Tesla Model 3S. We used to look at them all the time and go, oh, Tesla, but now there's so many of them, you can't keep up. Like coming out of Cumbria, we saw loads. So we're coming up now to Fellwall Viaduct, or should I say 2 viaducts, because there's actually 2 now. And when they first opened this for the motorway, it was 1 viaduct. So I don't know which one it was, if it was southbound or northbound. And the first day or the day before they opened it, you could come and walk on it you could come and walk on it, and everyone parked the car here and went and walked across it. And what's interesting about Thelwall Viaduct is it's made out of Butterley Ironworks built the iron for it, and they're also famous for doing St Pancras station. And I don't know if that one over there or this one is the original. And you can see how tall it is over there, and I think that's probably the original. How tall it is because I'd have to show you. There is the Manchester Ship Canal. It's got to be tall enough to get big sort of barges down it, so it's got to be nice and raised. And we actually came down here last year, and it's all shut off with bomb squad on it, and we had to go around it. And we they sent everyone on the northbound to get round it. But I think that one was the original, the northbound one. So yeah, there you go, that's a bit of TE history. Macclesfield, Warrington, Limp. See, Macclesfield, that's the birthplace of yours truly, TE. So here we go, we're going to get off in a minute for the M56, what goes to Chester, but it's sort of like the gateway to Wales. But we're only going up one junction, and then we're getting off onto the A49, and then going south down into Shropshire, because it's a much nicer route than taking the M6 the whole way to Shrewsbury. You're better going on the A49 because you get to learn a bit more of TE, and it's a bit more interesting to drive. Just like to point out that's Limb Services there. Right, here we go, we're going on to M56 up North Wales, Chester Runcorn. Big nice swooping curve here. With that DJI Pocket keeping it nice and smooth there. TE investment well spent, that is. That. Couldn't get that on a Canon. Go under this bridge. You won't know I'm holding it skew with. Onto it, M56. There's the M6, just go over the M6. There you go, just do the merging on. See the junction for the northbound M6 coming on here, onto M56. House here, because I've been down this road quite a lot. He owns Morris Miners. He's got quite a few of them. Yeah, he is. He's not here. He is not. He's got a Traveller. He's got someone there. What you probably didn't say, but he had a Traveller. And he's got a few cars, like what would he had a Bentley. But no, the Morris Miner man, he's got a Traveller and two cars, like a 2-door and a 4-door, and he might even have a convertible. So this pub here, oh, it's open, is where the famous Pete Waterman goes here. And I should say he's not related to Mark Waterman, he's the real deal. Pete Waterman goes in that pub, and when he did Hitman and Her in the 90s, he'd always say, when he mentioned that pub's name, that's another free meal for him, because he only lives up the road. We actually went past his turning before, so he'd go in there and get a free meal because he mentioned their name on the Hitman and Her.
We spent most of the meals in the Chetwood Arms in Blinking Warrington.
I was getting a bit worried.
That's another free meal. Hey! Bye, that's another free meal.
And as a TE Patreon, Greg, he used to do a bit of boogie on the Hitman and Her when they used to do the show at Tokyo Joe's, and I think it was owned by Whitegate. So yeah, there you go. That's a bit of TE useless information you didn't need to know on this 18th of Friday afternoon. But there you go. Stock Aitken and Waterman goes in there and gets his free meal because he mentions them on TV. And he probably parked his. He always used to like collecting his Jaguars. There's a lovely old church next to it here. There, look at that little with a lich gate. open again. We couldn't time that if we planned it, you know, any better. You know, it's very good timing that was. So just stop here for a brew with tea with TE, and we got Seat Bridge move, and that's the River Weaver. That is no relation to Phil Weaver. That's a TE family thing, that is, but only the TE family will know what that is. But yeah, it's a bit dark now, but I might say we're in Cheshire. There's quite a lot of few fancy cars around, like you get Mercs and stuff, but just here there's a custom, I think it's an urban new Defender 90, that is, but it's made by a company called Urban, who do proper Chelsea tractors, and you can tell by it had little lights above the cab. But yeah, we'll have to get on the road soon, because we're not going to get there to about 3:30, nearly 4, and he probably shuts about 5, while we're going to pick this park up. So we'll best get back over there to JJ. All these big trucks. I tell you what, you come all these miles down, you're never far from home. The truck came across here before the bridge swung across. What said settle on, you know, about from our neck at woods. Here we go, we're coming into Beeston here. I think this is, yeah, that's the canal down there. And then that's the rail up there, railway. One of my patrons done a bit of clearance on there. He said, oh, there's a bit of clearance up there at the moment. That's probably something to do with him. But there, we just went over canal. That's around here is Bunbury Locks. What's got a big cast iron flange in it. Fox's Afloat will tell you about that. And it's when you go on your canal boat up the locks, it's called the Bunbury Shuffle. And then also around here is Beeston Castle. But yeah, one of my patrons has been along the stretch of railway recently, doing a bit of work, a bit of clearance job. I could still, oh yeah, there's a bit of wood management gone on there. Wow, you probably can't see for the bushes. Wow, look, one of my patrons has done that. Wow, it's pretty good. This is a shed here, what cars always crash into, and it's listed, and they've had to get it all chopped up. So I tried to film through there, and he had some minis and some old Chevy trucks and some proper old running board stuff, and an old Citroen, and in the back he had a few tractors. But I couldn't really show you, but it's called Heathside Garage. It's a proper old school garage, but he's had a new tin roof on it. When we come years ago, it was really old and run down, but I think he's had a bit, as the cameraman was saying, he's had a bit of lockdown money, and he's put a new roof on it. But he does up old cars and that. I don't think it's his collection, because it changes around a lot. I think he does a lot of American stuff. But in there, in that little room there, he had lots of old cars, and me and the cameraman were getting excited over a Willesco tractor engine, what was in there. What a really good. But yeah, that's the pub there. Sam and Jess have been in there, and they got spooked upstairs. But yeah, there you go. And then Five Ways Cafe's over there. And this road's busy now, we've got to get out, back onto it. And there you go. £5. Wow, there's a railway shop over there, Black 5, you know, as in the steam engine Black 5. Wow, we've got to go and have a gander over there. Well, before we go in there, I should say we're in Webb. It's just round the corner from a place we've just picked something up for another non-MG car project. Well, I won't tell you, but we'll actually come here to find some nose bag. I saw a few chippies. And then we just had a quick mooch round, but we've stumbled across 54 High Street in Wem, Black £5. So we're going to have a bit of deviance. have any deviants because it wasn't as good as I thought it was. But we just looked over there, and King's over there. And well, I thought we need a teapot in the TE household. A new teapot that don't leak out the spouts because they all go a bit wrong after a while. So we're going to go in there and see before it shuts. It's 4:30 now. And see if we can find a teapot. And then we're going to go and find some nose bags down there. And as I came into town, I saw an MG ZR in the driveway. Well, we might go and have a moot chat, but we'll get. Friday. Yeah, we've got half an hour. Well, they didn't have a teapot, but they had a scrub-a-dub-dub brush for the sink in the kitchen, because T's mum likes them. For £1.30. I dogged a ZR, a 4-door MG ZR in black in hairpins, and it's just behind that White House there, so we'll go and walk past and have a dab. But on the other side, there's nose bag. There's a chippy on the other side, so we might get a bit of nose. Oh, there it is. Oh, it could be blue. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, it's a diesel. You can tell by exhaust it's a diesel. Quite rare, that. 2 litre lump in that. The people love tuning them on ZRs. Probably not fair out. Needs a bit of work, I think. Can't, because kebab shop I didn't really fancy it. Really, all looking at us when they're like, oh, going to get an order, but they didn't. We're going to go up to Five Ways, the Trucker's Cafe at Midway, and maybe get a bun there and a tea. But yeah, that was Wem. That was a mini tour Wem. And buying T's mum cleaning scrub-a-dub-dub brushes, because you always got to have one of these in stock. You can have one on the sink, but then you've got to have one in your drawer, and then you date it on there when you bought it and where you bought it from. So when you get it out, you go, oh, I bought that on Wem. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Well, that was good. Halfway through, the wheels fell off.
Yeah, it did.
Put some money on the table. £6 low offer, please. £1,000 high offer, please. 30.
I got sausages, and then over here, cameraman's got toast. His bum, and he's got brekkie. The Raven Cafe, one of our Rod runs that. That's his empire. He flies down here from Cumbria, runs that, gets all his cash, then goes back up to Cumbria. Well, he did live in Knaresborough, he lives in Cumbria now. Yeah, look, the Raven Cafe. We'll have to bring him down, and he can show us around his empire. But anyway, we had nose bag in Midway up there, truck stop. JJ's up there. No, truck parked there. But they have a classic truck run down here where they all park in here. Oh, look at this, all bow tyres. They have a classic truck run, vintage trucks and that, and they park in here. There's a guy on YouTube did a video on it, what went quite viral about it. So we need to come down and have a mooch on that. I think it's in summer. About June or July time. Maybe it's actually, I think it's even later. I think it's like September time. It's quite late on. So yeah, it's pretty good down here. You can't beat being on the road with TE, looking at all sorts of stuff. We're in here, what, Raven's Cafe, where Rod runs it. So we'll go home and go up through Crewe and then back on M6 and back up to Cumbria, and we'll be back home about 8 or 9 p.m. So let's do that. Go on, let's go. We're heading down Nantwich Road, heading into Crewe, but over there's a massive move to Sandbach. The actually where Vet Fielding lives, for Most Haunted, and Carl, actually. But yeah, we'll just come in, we'll just have to come round the back. We might not be able to get to it, but it's just up here. It's a dead end. Oh, I know where we are, we've been here before. There you have it. It's a bit of another factual interlude of TV. I've never really been in the middle of Sandbach like this. It's quite quaint in the middle. It's very Cheshire. But yeah, pretty good. And there's a big chopper somewhere. Paul Osborne, we like him. That's a massive chopper somewhere. M6, Warlock, Preston, North, Warrington. So, and there you go, that was Sandbach. That was at 7:30 at night time. It's quite civilised in the middle. Everyone was having a pint. A bit of nose bag was happening inside the pub. And this here we go. We're getting onto the northbound of the M6, and it's quite busy. Everyone's going home. It's Friday night. Nina's just behind us going over the bridge, and everyone's going away to the lakes on the holiday, and they're already going home. Blocked lane. We've got a bit of a blockage coming up. Can't be the blockage. You know, there's a flyover. You know, the first restaurant on the motorways up there. A waitress service. It's not that now though. We're just coming in. It's 8:25 Friday evening, the 18th. You know, coming in. Ramada, where we normally say favourite hotel in there, but we're not going in there today. We're going in here, and we're going to take you somewhere. And there's the Welcome Break petrol station. That's a fortune. It's 186. And now we're just going to pull in this end bay here. This is can't smoke, can't vape, Kanzan or whatever it is. Just go in here, and then there's services, and then Ramada's over there, and there's some trucks in there. Where was my finger? Some trucks in there with some vans on the back. It's pretty good, that. Right, so we're here at my favourite services, Charnet Richard, and we're parked in this M bay here because this is where one of my Patreons, Greg, parks in this bay. I think it's this bay. Is this the right bay, Greg? Is it this bay or is it the other end? And he parks in this M bay when you're coming home for a quick nap. And actually, we're probably a bit behind you. You probably were here earlier. So we're parked in there, but now we're going to go over to Ramada and see my favourite hotel. What we're not staying in tonight, we're actually going north. We'll go over there and get to have a look in Ramada. But yeah, we thought we'd come and park in Greg's favourite spot, so he knows that TE's been here and JJ, the MG's head out, covered in rubbish from going Shropshire back lanes today. All sorts of stuff on there. So yeah, pretty good. And fuel's expensive, as motorways always is expensive. The cheapest we found today was in Whitchurch, what was 161. That was the cheapest we found, and just down the road it was 164. But it's quite busy tonight because it's weekday. The big van here, but yeah, it's pretty good. We're going to go over there and have a look in Ramada and look at some Teslas. You know, it's living the high life with TE, living the dream with TE, I should say, as an enterprise. And here's a big truck over there. They've come over the KFC before, and they've got a telehandler on it and a works Sprinter. go. This is where we were a week ago doing last Monday's video, telling you about this bridge was put in originally when they put the original hotel in. Like I said, a future TE video. Keep teasing you on this video, so you'll make sure to keep subscribed, so when it comes, ain't all no fail, I'll tell you. Those are Teslas. Well, there's a few Teslas driven out since we've been here. We've only been here about 10-15 minutes, but there's a blue one there and a white one there, two Model 3 S's, and there's Ramada, but we can't go in it because we're not staying, unfortunately. Someone's smoking the herb, I think. Quite strong, I think. He's over there in his beer. There you go, there you have it, that's TEs. I had to stop over at my favourite services to see Ramada and park in the same parking bay Greg parks in. It was one of my patrons, there's a big tree there. But yeah, there you go, there you have it. TE Empire down at Container Yard, back after a 300-mile trip down to Shrewsbury via a non-MG part. I'll show you in a minute. So we're in JJ and he's working well after getting his brand new starter motor. What I didn't film, but if you want to see me putting the starter motor on in action, well, not in film but in photos, go and take the plunge and join Patreon. You get to see me how I took my starter motor off and all my steps of doing it. And I couldn't film it because it was in a place I didn't want to film. But you can see the process in photos. That's always good. You know, Patreon's full of interesting behind the scenes and keeping the fleet on the road. Sunny today. We're going to get lots of sun all week. And we've had so much sun, but they've had a fire up at High Newton or on the Fell side. It's all gone up in flames. We had to have a detour on the way home last night from Windermere. So yeah, I'll get in. Well, I'll turn JJ off, get in container, and show you our new well, I won't tell you what it is. Our new non-MG part. Right, so we've got boot open, and this is what I've bought. And it's a non-MG thing, and that probably gives you a clue there of what it might have come off. And it's got, okay, we got some rubber seal front roof, but around the sunroof. So I have to get hold of, and all the mounting screws in there, all torque. So that give you an idea what it's come off when the car uses all torque nuts. There you go, so we got it out the car. It was me to you, and oh dear, you know, it's Chuckle Brothers kind of thing. And we put it in here, it's a bit heavy. Well, it's not heavy, but it's just awkward, and we have to flip it upside down to put it there, but we need to adjust everything because it needs to go flat against the wall. But we need to go in there, because I think we're going to the TE Cinema tonight, I think. So we'll just put it there, and it's with its other bits, what are all off the same car. But there you go, there's another part added to the TE Empire to keep the fleet on the road with yours truly. So yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, right, we'll get on the road. So there you go, we've put the non-MG part in the unit. Can you guess what it is? Comment below if you know what it's come off. And now we're off to the Roxy Cinema in Ulverston to watch a new movie about a golf player from Barrow. Looks quite entertaining. So that's where we're going next. And it's it's a proper old cinema as well, and you play the Queen at the end, that's how good it is. It's proper old showbiz. Might show you a bit actually, might put it in this video. Just having a look. Oh yeah, sleepers. Oh yeah. Just the cameraman was saying, look at sleepers when you come out. The guy's made a concrete thing of sleepers. Oh, it's interesting that. Because we got an idea for some sleepers, me and the cameraman, to make something, so it's interesting seeing that. It'd help if I put it in first gear rather than third. Right, I'll see you in a bit. Well, there you have it. An exciting time at the Roxy in Ulverston, watching the Phantom of the Open. And we've got to watch the Queen. It's a proper old school cinema. You got to watch Queen. You stand up for Queen. Yeah. So I'm going to bring my brother here, who used to be a projectionist. He used to do 35mm, and then he went on to digital, and it was in an old theatre, but it wasn't really a theatre. It was an old like school and church made into a theatre, but it was still old school. But it wasn't like a proper one like this, what's a Roxy. But anyway, this is the end of my 300-mile or so journey down to Shrewsbury to pick up a non-MG car part in JJ the MGZR, as well as talking about lots of history of Fortin series, Preston to Lancaster bike, all sorts of stuff in the Midway CAF, lots of other stuff. He looked at a BMW M3 for sale. But if you've enjoyed today, make sure you give us a like and a comment below. Always comment. That's the most thing, because I like talking the most. Oh, I got a VTEC. Always comment, because I like talking, so always get that done. Join Patreon if you want to see behind the scenes of stuff, what I do. And early access. You get early access to this video a few days before, a week, or even a week before. And give me a subscribe, because we're over 1,400, 1,400. And you make sure to click that big bell. Ding!